guys, and welcome back for another episode of Vanilla Heroes. Last episode, we finished off the platforms for this base just so that we could start moving in and getting things all readied up. We also found that Steve had been turned against his will. I know he wanted to stay our farmer and constantly give us emeralds, but he can no longer do that. So, between episodes, like I said, I organized. These are still a hot mess, but they're items that were less popular, so I didn't feel like they really needed a spot. As you can tell, all of these is our stone supply, so we will not be running out anytime soon. Our sand supply seems to have dwindled down a little bit. We've got a decent amount of sandstone from finishing off the island, some netherrack from making our portal, and then an assortment of diorite, andesite, granite, dirt, some of the woods we had before we started, and then the stuff that we got from the stronghold itself. Needless to say, I don't think we're going to be struggling on the stone front of things anytime soon. But for all of our other supplies, we've got big plans in store for how we're going to actually accomplish that. So today's plans are build a furnace array. That way we don't have to worry about it. And I've got a way that to adapt ilmango's design into this base that works for what we want. So it's going to take a little bit of work, but I think it'll be worth it. And then on top of that, we have to cure Steve, and then I want to light up this platform and light up down here, because, oh, that looks dangerous. Yeah, we need to get that done. Otherwise, we're just going to be in we're going to be in a lot of mess anytime we actually go down there to start working on other stuff. So what I'm thinking is that we get us a small little auto smelter going for our iron. And then once we have the iron, we go ahead and start building our Super Smelter. Okay, so what I think we're going to do is we're going to start with a very generic auto smelter, just enough to throw our iron through. I figure the 2 furnace system will be fast enough for us to kind of focus on some of the other projects at hand while this gets itself worked out. During this time, I think the best use of our time is going to be doing the torching up. I feel like saving Steve can wait till the end. He's not a high priority, but I would like to get him finished up this episode. So what I want to do is get our iron out right there, and I want to throw this stuff in there and go ahead and get this thrown into the system. Like so. And then after that, we're going to need to get ourselves some coal, because I've got a few kelp blocks worked out, but I really think coal is going to be the best use of our time because we just have so much of it left over. So I'm going to go ahead and break up a few stacks of this and get it thrown into the system, and I think we'll be good to go. That is a beautiful sight. That is the smallest shulker box we have of coal. And that looks kind of odd. But that is nice. Let's see how much coal we get out of it. Alright. We have an intruder. This is the last bit of the coal that we got from that stack. And we will let this run for a little while and come back to that in a bit. For now, I think we go ahead and start the process of lighting up down here, and we'll move on after we're done with that. Okay, so we are back after a lot of spam torching. Yes, it is a very hot mess down here. We also torched the top section, and when we came back up here to see how well iron was doing, it's doing pretty poorly. We still got quite a bit left to smelt, so we took the time to go ahead and figure out where our slime chunks are, because I knew we had some slime chunks, but we've got a lot more than I imagined. I have verified that slimes have spawned in every single one of those dirt squares. So at the moment, I'm thinking it's just going to be a case of which squares we want to use, because there's no way I'm going to turn all of those into slime farms. I feel like that would be wasteful and there'd be no reason for it. So I was hoping that the iron would be done in time for that, for us to move on to the Super Smelter at that point. But what I think we're going to do instead is revive Steve and hope that we can have him come back. So I believe that is fermented spider eye, right? So we need that. We need a sugar, and I think I have a spider eye over here. Right there. And then we got the potion. We don't have nether wart, do we? Yeah, that's a no. I think we are gonna go grab some nether wart from our neighbor Basic and come back to revive him. Wow, his base is really coming along. Alright, well, eventually I'm going to need to ask him for a tour. It looks like he's got iron golems farms at the top. And I think... And we'll come back to this later. See if Basic can give us a tour around. And we're going to take one and throw that back down, and he's never going to know. Alright. Let's head back. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to need this. Make some blaze powder. Throw the blaze powder onto here to get it started up. Throw in all of those, and then we make an awkward potion first, right? And then while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do that. That. And that. Did I do something wrong? So it's strictly water in that? I thought all potions had to start off with nether wart. Well, there it is. And then we will throw the gunpowder on it to make it a splash potion. And while we're doing that, let's get that and an apple. Where'd all my apples go? I know I've got 9 of them. Yeah, I looked over that one way too many times. Alright, now we make golden apple. Take our splash potion of weakness. And hopefully we get this right, because I only got the one time. So we throw that onto him. Okay, he's got that. And then we use that on him. He's got the jitters. So I guess we wait now? Holy cow, are you taking a long time, Steve? Maybe I should have looked into this a little bit before I started just throwing him together. Alright, Steve is back. Look at that. Him and his giant nose. Alright, so I'm going to clean him up a little bit, and then we will get back to the auto smelter. Okay, well we are back and night is approaching us, so we might as well go to bed. This super smelter is taking forever. We already went ahead and grabbed some hoppers for one setup, but I did not think it would take that long just to get this stuff all figured out. So what we're doing here is we're going to be making ilmango's super smelter design. We're going to be going with the 23 version just because I was going to go with his 46 version, but since it centers around a double chest, it wasn't going to work out with us having a one wide center. So what we're going to end up doing is 2 23s, and it works out in the end because we can smelt multiple items at once. If we need to smelt us some smooth stone, which I really hope we don't ever have to do that again, and some glass at the same time, so be it. What we need to start out with, and I will link his tutorial in the bottom, is just a double chest, and then I think it is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I think the furnaces start there. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is going smoothly. Okay, we got our fish in hand, and let's see if round 2 goes a little bit smoother. So we need to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 hoppers, and then we will put all of our furnaces on top here. Is that 23? Yeah, I believe so. And then, if I'm correct, it is hoppers on top. We're going to need to place block here, block there, and aim this into there. Alright, I believe that takes care of the food portion of it, at least till we get a chest put into place. And then for the fuel portion, we throw everything into the back, like so. And then we will do the same thing we did before, block in, and then have all of these facing into each other. Okay, so I think that takes the majority of the hoppers out of the way. So what we need to do next is get ourselves some stairs so that we can have a transparent block to put over the chests, and we'll get the chests put in place before we start messing with any redstone. Okay, so if we put stone there, we can put backward stone there. Build up 1, 2, and then that we can then put some chests right here and right there. Slide them off to the side. I really am starting to enjoy how easily stuff syncs together. We do that guy into there. Get rid of that. And then we pull this one back to there. That should take care of all of that. And as far as I know, that should be all of the hoppers for this build. So I'm going to try to set up the chain for us to start putting in some redstone, and we will catch back up once I've got that done. Alright, so we're back, and we've done a little bit of work. Basically what my thought is I got the comparators in, which will be able to read when items are being fed in. But the main reason I got these set up is just because they build the framework for making the powered unit. So what this does is it locks all the hoppers. And the last thing you really want to happen is be building and have the hoppers not be locked, because if a single thing falls in there that cannot go through a furnace, you're looking at a clogged furnace, and then you're looking at troubleshooting, and it really does become a whole mess of a thing. And in the kind of theory behind this is that these dots are powering the blocks around them, keeping these hoppers kind of blocked up. With this being done, we now don't have to worry about when we go up top to be working. And then what we need to do now is, this isn't really part of the tutorial, but I feel like it's essential to go ahead and redstone dust this entire thing, anything that has a hopper attached to it. Right there. Did I miss one at the front? Yes, I missed one at the front. So what we'll want to do now is throw a temporary redstone torch down here, just so that when we come up here, this entire line that will be used to lock it up in the future of the build is all powered on, locking those bottom chests. What this will ensure for us is that if we do have to break an item up here, we're not going to have to really worry about it accidentally getting into the system. We just check the hoppers before we finish, and then we're good to go. So what the next step will be is to get the hopper lines up on top. So I'm going to go grab what I need for that and catch back up with you guys. Okay, so I can't really explain the logistics of this. I'm going to say that it needs, your best bet would be to go to ilmango's video and check it out for yourself. I'll have the link posted below. But the gist of all of this is that the whole system behind these repeaters being 3 ticks and kind of staggering is to make up for the glitch where hoppers get skipped. And what this will do is that since you're not putting a redstone dust on top of this, this right here will supply power to said hopper. And then we will take our redstone dust all the way down and call that good. Now what we're going to have to move on to though is up here, and this is where it gets a little more complicated. We're looking at placing 2 blocks on top here, no blocks here. So we'll do redstone dust, redstone dust, redstone dust, redstone dust. But what you don't want is them linking up like that. So you'll then place those 2 there so they're not getting power from below, and you'll place that right there so that they are not linking up with the bottom. And from there, I believe it is redstone dust, repeater here on 3 ticks, and then a block here, and then you repeat the pattern so on as you go down. I'm gonna have to double check that because I don't know completely off the top of my head, but that's seeming familiar. So with the top section all complete, all that leaves is we've taken the 2 torches off down here that was locking this, and what we do instead is we place them up here on the top. What that should do is lock it down here at like its lowest power level, and it locks it all the way down, and what it ensures is that the time without power is really only a flash, so that it only lets 1 item down. So with all of that completed, I think the next best thing to do is to go ahead and throw something through the system. I do need to make sure that I get some item frames or some signs up or something that says, hey, fuel here, and item into this slot, just because the last thing you want is for someone to assume where someone goes and then something to end up in the wrong thing, the whole thing gets jammed, and then you got to figure out everything else. But I think the quickest and easiest test for us is going to be making some cracked stone. I feel like it's something that I'll end up using, so it doesn't feel necessarily like a waste for this build. And if we're gonna find anything out, I guess now's the time. I'm actually slightly concerned with the current lag we're experiencing on the server, it affecting how this thing works. But no time like the present. So let's throw in a stack of that and a stack of coal. And we should see them all turn on around the same time. Fingers crossed. No? Did I break it already? Okay. The stone brick is in. I mean, that's a positive. Why isn't the coal going in? Doop, 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 doop. Oh, that did something. Okay. We've got 2 ghosts. Nothing went into these. Maybe it was just lag. So that is number 5 and number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The coal is in there. It just didn't drop. And then number 7 is the same case. Interesting. Oh, It turned on that time. So, it's looking like it's working. It's looking like we should probably hold off on using this too much till the lag becomes manageable. But, with that being said, our first one is up. Alright, I changed my mind, and we finished both of them. After that one, I was just too impatient and just wanted to go ahead and get this one done. They both work. My least favorite part of it is the fact that they are two separate ones, but I think that all in all, it's probably going to be for the better. I like the fact that I could be smelting two different things at once. I also like the fact that I have probably just locked myself in here. Oh. Nope. No. Let me out. Okay. We need to light up back there. But the theory is, if anything goes wrong, I at least have access to the back when needed. And that was on purpose. That's my bodyguard. So, yeah. You've got them easily labeled for if people show up. You throw your fuel in here, input, and then your output chest is down here. Same goes for the other, just a little bit inverse. And I'm feeling good about it. It's really ugly right now. It's got a bit too much brick. But for not having any resources, I think we'll be fine for now. I was thinking maybe doing like a slab polished andesite, slab stone pillar kind of look thing, but then I feel like at that point we're getting a bit too stone oriented. I want to leave this canvas the way it is. It's pretty blank, it's easy to sculpt, and wait till we have quartz and prismarine. Me and Decory have already been talking a little bit. We've got some plans for taking down that guardian temple that I showed you guys a few episodes back. And once we get that done, we're probably going to set that up to start getting us some resources pretty much ASAP. So with that, I think this will truly be the end of today's episode. If you found this episode entertaining, please feel free to drop a like. If you want to see more of this, please feel free to just subscribe. And as always, have fun. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.